Oh boy, we got America's birth rate is falling. This will make it worse from your boy, More Perfect Union. Oh shit, what's going on with America?
Oh, look at her smile. Every time you deliver a baby, it's the most magical thing that you've ever seen.
Ready to go home and see
It's this beautiful, amazing feeling that just it never fades. It's something that this community needs.
Having a safe place to give birth is an essential part of healthcare, but it's one that's disappearing from America's hospitals.
I don't think any hospital wakes up one morning and says, you know what? I don't really like doing this. Let's just stop doing it. If we can't pay the bills, I mean, we're kind of on our own.
Yeah.
More than half of hospitals in rural communities no longer deliver babies.
Oh wow, really? That's crazy. Closure of Maine's rural birthing centers as part of national crisis. Oh. Oh wow. So not only are people choosing to not have babies, the industry is also finding that there is no longer a rising demand to deliver babies. Ooh, that's news to me. Well, not like the hospital's closing down. That's news.
But what we're seeing now is just the tip of the iceberg.
A debate in Washington could reshape healthcare for millions of vulnerable Americans.
The most significant attack on the healthcare needs of the American people in our country's history.
Really?
This is 100% a necessary service.
I worry that
Well,
there
yeah.
would be death.
I mean, I think it's a necessary service. Like, bro, when a baby comes out, like, there's still an umbilical cord attached. It's like, what do you want people to do? Do it themselves? Like, cut all that stuff off in like a clean way? And like, I mean, I don't even know how they do it. What do they do? Like, cut it off and like they sew it back up or whatever? I don't know how they do that. But I know damn well I don't know how to do that. What, you want me to like chat GPT it or YouTube it how to cut and sew umbilical cord to baby? And then not only that, like how to get it the rest of it out of the or not even that, because it's like the placenta's on the other side. So yeah.
So what happens when something as basic as safely giving birth is no longer possible in many parts of this country?
I've lived my life for 42 years here, and this is the first time where I'm like, you're making it harder if you continue in that
What is this? Save Copley Birthing Center.
way. I don't know if we can stay.
This is our next generation. This is the future of our country. If we're not valuing that
Nope.
and making that a
There is no value in that. That's what's happening. That's the climate we're in.
priority, what are we doing?
Who made that decision? Was it all the lazy Zoomer iPad kids? Was it all the millennials? The lazy millennials not wanting to do anything? Surely it was them, because that's what I hear all the time from everyone I talk to. Who made that decision? To shut all the hospitals, the birthing hospitals down.
Oh, come on in.
Which generation is responsible for it, right? It's got to be the evil young lazy ones, right?
Sarah Omatoso was born and raised in Morrisville, Vermont, a small town of just 2,000 people. She works as a nurse at Copley Hospital and is expecting her first baby in December.
Here's our little girl. Oh my God. I can't stop looking at it. Ever since I've worked at the birthing center, I've always said, if I have a baby, I want to have it here.
Sarah was planning to have her baby at Copley Hospital's birthing center,
Mhm.
just 6 minutes from her house. But that changed in June, when Copley was the latest to join what's emerging as a national crisis.
Citing costs and a declining birth rate, Copley Hospital says it's closing its birthing center.
It'll be shuttered at midnight on November 1st.
After nearly 100 years of doing labor and delivery, Copley Hospital said it could no longer offer this service because the hospital was losing $15,000 to $30,000 on each birth.
Oh, wow. The limited resources Copley has available to support the birthing center as birth numbers drop has reached a critical point with an annual loss that equates to $15,000 to $30,000 per birth, costs are becoming greater than can be managed. Oof. Dang. Kids are just too expensive, man. It's too expensive to have a kid.
How did it feel for you that the hospital was closing this because of money?
I felt betrayed.
Cause money. Cause money.
Understand. I can't tell you how many times I said that, and we all looked at each other and said, I don't understand.
What's to understand? There's no money to do the thing anymore. It's as simple as that. Don't forget, hospitals are still a business. You can't operate a hospital when you got $0. What's so hard to understand?
It's the only hospital in the entire county. So when we close, we will become a maternity care desert. So there will be no obstetrical care in the entire county, and people will have to leave the county to have their babies. What hurts my heart is I live in a county where people are only going to die and not be born.
Yeah.
April Vander.
And that's probably going to become the growing trend.
Revere has helped people have babies at Copley for the last 20 years.
If you want a kid, you better go somewhere that has money. Because if you want to have a kid on like the outskirts of society, good luck. You better find your local potato patch and pop a squat or whatever.
So there's 11 hospitals in Vermont that deliver babies, and all of them except that big hospital in Burlington are small, and Copley's one of those. So we, on average, deliver about between 175 and 200 babies a year, which...
Oh, dang, not even a baby a day. And every one of those babies is between $15,000 and $30,000 of losses. Dang, dude.
You know, is not a huge number, but to those 200 people, it's a super important service.
Pretty much anywhere you go, you're gonna have to travel about an hour. That's an hour there for a prenatal appointment, and an hour back, that's 2 hours.
So, if you want to have a kid, you need a car. All right, just get a car. Easy. If you ain't got no car, why are you trying to have a kid? Simple.
Hours, 45-minute appointment. That's 3 hours out of my day that I have to use my earned time off. Don't get paid for that.
Yep.
That's just me.
Yeah, but you made that choice, no?
We have a whole entire community of people who already struggle to come to their prenatal appointments, and they're 15 minutes away from us. And all of a sudden, with this closure, we're telling them that they have to go an hour or more to get to where they need to get prenatal care or postpartum care. And that's unacceptable.
Yeah, that is super shitty, though.
Unacceptable.
More than 500 hospitals across the U.S. have closed their labor and delivery units since 2010, hitting rural areas the hardest. So why is it that these communities are losing what should be an essential part of any hospital?
The biggest, and I hate to say it this way, but the biggest loser financially is definitely labor and delivery, by far.
Yeah. I mean, all those people that had jobs, they don't got jobs no more. Right? Because, like, I mean, I don't exactly know how to, like, grow the industrial hospital industry, but I would imagine how it was, like, 30 plus years, or I don't know, 10 plus years ago, was like, like, let's say you had a hospital and it covered, like, an area that, like, right? And then once this hospital got like enough money, then it could open up like another hospital somewhere else. And then all of a sudden we can cover this much area, right? And then this hospital like continues to make money, and this hospital starts making money, right? And then maybe this hospital can like, grow, make enough money over the course of time. Maybe another hospital, maybe this one can like expand over this way, cover this area, cover that area. But what's happening is it's the reverse. It's the reverse. We expanded so much. Now these little like outskirt hospitals are no longer profitable. Everyone's losing money, so you got to protect the core, right? You got to protect yourself, and you got to cut off the fat. What is it? What's that term? Trim the fat? Yeah. Don't need you. Don't need you. Sucks to suck. Got to preserve where the money is coming from. That's what you got to do.
This is Erin Edwards, the CEO of Lake Chelan Community Hospital, a rural hospital in Washington state. Lake Chelan runs a full labor and delivery unit with a team of OB nurses and a class of OB residents.
To sustain a labor and delivery program, I mean, you have to have a lot of people. You have
Yeah.
to have on-call staff all the time, whether you're doing anything or not.
Rural hospitals often struggle because they don't see a lot of patients. And in America's for-profit healthcare system, no patients means no payments.
Mm-hmm.
For us, our best year in labor and delivery was last year, which was a $500,000 loss. We would need to be at about 300 deliveries, and we are last year it did about 85.
Damn.
So we're not even close.
Damn, dude. That's crazy. You need 300 deliveries for like any, and is this it? Is this like the place? And you need more or less like a kid, about a kid a day. You know, it's not, 356, 300 to be like even, right? Or whatever. And 85 last year. And that was their best year at 500,000 loss. Damn, dude. Because I'm just trying to think. If you're out in the middle of nowhere and you're trying to have a kid, and this is like your closest place, like I'm trying to imagine like the culture and like, all the like overlapping circles of like, what? So what does that mean? If you live in a city, you should probably have a kid, or you're more likely to have a kid, and it's more convenient to have a kid if you live in the city, where you could potentially get like a better job and make more money in the city. Just live in a city, just make money, and all your problems will go away. Then you can have a kid. Is that an O'Reilly's? Right there. I think that's an O'Reilly's. But yeah. If you live out in the middle of buttfuck nowhere, you probably shouldn't have a kid. That's what the culture, because it's not an individual person saying that. That's what society's telling you. That's what the culture is telling you. It's extremely inconvenient to have a kid if you live in the middle of buttfuck nowhere. Don't even try.
But the real problem for rural hospitals goes back to how America funds its healthcare.
Because of the way insurance works,
Oh.
almost no one in rural areas is making any money off of birth. Everyone's losing money because it's just not reimbursed.
When hospitals deliver a baby, they're reimbursed by either Medicaid or private insurance.
Mm-hmm.
So Medicaid pays quite a bit less than commercial payers do for this service line, which is beyond me why.
The average global payment for the whole pregnancy, all the visits, birth, everything is that from Medicaid in Vermont is about $1,900.
Oh,
We're
wow.
a resource-rich country, and yet we can't seem to like prioritize healthcare.
It's not a priority. It don't matter right now. We don't care about, the lowering birth rates. It's not a priority. It's just not. New people, little babies and kids trying to claim money, trying to claim property, trying to claim jobs later in life. What? What are those little babies trying to do? Trying to take away my jobs. How could they?
Like a lot of countries do. And so Medicaid especially has been underfunded for a long time.
When Medicaid doesn't pay what it actually costs to keep a labor and delivery unit running, hospitals lose money. It's particularly a challenge in rural areas, where there's a higher percentage of Medicaid patients.
Surely it was a young Zoomer or a young millennial or some young generation person at Medicaid that made the decision, the lazy decision to underfund birth rates, right? Surely that's what it was, because that's all I hear, right?
About 78% of our labor and delivery patients are Medicaid. That's tough.
To stay afloat, many hospitals have to counter losses from labor and delivery with other services that make the hospital more money.
Something like orthopedics or general surgery, I mean, those service lines are reimbursed really well, and you do pretty well. So, you can, for the most part, offset losses in other areas if those things are doing well.
Oh, okay. A
But
little
even that
seesaw
can be
action going
challenging
on.
because rural hospitals have to negotiate with insurance companies.
For rural providers that are independent and smaller, they simply have less negotiating leverage, less market power to obtain adequate prices. The financial pressure on hospitals in rural areas really leaves them.
Look at that tractor just driving in the road, dude. Isn't that like a farm tractor with all that bullshit in the back? You know it's real as fuck when you see one of these pulling up down the road, dude.
In a bind. They can, one, discontinue services, especially those that are less lucrative, or they can simply close their doors and discontinue all their services.
Oof.
The right business decision right now would be, we should not be doing this. There's too much risk. We're losing, in the best years, $500,000, but that's not the right decision, in my opinion.
Dang, the best years they're losing $500,000. That's crazy. Cause like, look at this. Look at the background. Like, it's kind of nice. You got like some rolling hills, a little bit of forest action going on. Like, it's nice to look at, but like, this hospital, this wouldn't be an issue if all of this was bustling industry. Right? There's like a Starbucks across the street from a Starbucks. There's like 3 McDonald's at an intersection. There's like a Walmart, and then down the road there's a Sam's Club, or there's a Walmart right next to a Sam's Club, which is across the street from BJ's, and across the street is like a Publix, and then there's like 50 restaurants down that lane, right? And then there's like maybe a couple of housing developments around here immediately, right? Maybe there's like I don't know, some like industrial thing, like a pavers industry or something. Maybe there's like an Amazon warehouse. Well, it wouldn't be here. That'd be like on the edge of like Mexico or some bullshit, right? But yeah, this would not be an issue if this facility was closer to where everyone is making money.
I was born in Lake Chelan Hospital. All of my siblings were born there. I had a son here as well. My dad was born here. It's something that this community needs.
Juliana.
What's that song? You can't always get what you need. Yeah, I remember that song.
England is an OB nurse at Lake Chelan Hospital.
How's like the color in her food and stuff? Is it pretty good? Yeah.
I've worked with a lot of people who have come here quickly to deliver, and they didn't intend to deliver here, but they went into labor quickly and had to come, and it was emergent and it was terrifying for them. And if we hadn't been here, then there could have been catastrophic results.
In areas where there are no hospitals with obstetric care, the risk of death during pregnancy or childbirth is significantly higher.
Yeah.
The day Copley announced they were closing.
Oh yeah, because regular people don't know how to give birth by themselves, man. They just don't. Like, you don't go to school and you learn how to give birth. Like, what?
We had someone arrive and have a baby 11 minutes later.
Damn.
And she lives 5 minutes from the hospital.
That's crazy.
She barely made it to us. That's truly a risk.
Yeah.
My wife was pregnant with our daughter, Olivia. We were in Republic, Washington, which was about 55 miles from the nearest hospital that did labor and delivery. at the time. She knew there was trouble, went down to our emergency room. She ultimately got flown to a very large hospital in Spokane and delivered a baby at 27 weeks. It was the most terrifying thing I've ever been through in my life. And this job has definitely been scary at times, but nothing compares to the possibility of losing your wife or your child.
Yeah, that's scary, man.
Having a baby is a life or death situation. And obviously, most of the time, like I'm a midwife, I trust the process. Most of the time it works out. Very little intervention is required. But when it does require intervention, what helps people, what helps parents and babies survive is timely access to care.
But what does that mean? What's the implication? What does that mean? Timely access to care. I mean, I hate to say it, but it's money. It's money.
As labor and delivery units close, the timeliest care people might be able to get is in an emergency room. But emergency rooms can't offer the same level of care as a labor and delivery unit.
If a patient arrives to a
Yeah, I mean, fuck, like emergency room people, those guys are already under so much stress, dude. And then you want to put a baby on top of it? Jesus. Stress is like their norm.
hospital where there is no OB unit, it's actually way more of a risk. We monitor the fetal heart rate and we monitor the contractions, and it's this beautiful symphony. It's a map that lets us know what's going on. In a unit, like in an emergency room, they're not going to have any of that. So you have none of those telltale signs to know that the baby's in stress or that there's a concern.
The thought of having to go to an emergency department to deliver a baby with people that you don't know, with a possibly loaded unit. Am I gonna have to deliver a baby in a bed with somebody who's screaming out in pain from a broken leg? Like,
Yeah, I mean, that's probably happened before. I wouldn't put it past like the history of the emergency room. That's probably happened before. Is that the best case scenario? Obviously not. No one, I don't think anybody would really agree that it is. But I mean, then why does the saying exist of you got to do what you got to do, right? Why does that saying exist? I mean, ideally, you should go to a birthing center, right? That is the best case scenario.
that's the reality of it. Like, I think about that.
We're not prioritizing the essential health care of women and children in this country.
Mm-hmm.
Like, women deserve more in this country than what we're getting.
How did you feel as a healthcare provider when you were watching these debates around Medicaid cuts play out in
Oh my
Congress?
gosh. It's like the nail in the coffin. It really, when we should be going in this direction, we're in.
I don't think any one side deserves more. I just don't. Because you got men and women, right? He's like, oh, women deserve more. Oh, men deserve more. What are we really saying? Right? What are we really saying? One side deserves more, other side deserves more. Like, shouldn't like the middle class deserve more? Shouldn't the working class deserve more? You can't even, like, maybe you didn't think that statement through all the way, which is fine. Most people don't. I think the working class deserves more. Because this country doesn't really exist without the working class. Working poor class. Living paycheck to paycheck class.
Instead going in this direction.
153 rural hospitals nationwide have closed in the last 20 years. More than twice that number could close if the Republican-sponsored One Big Beautiful Bill Act becomes law.
The Trump tax bill is poised to exacerbate all these problems that are already plaguing rural providers.
Almost $1 trillion in saving just with the stroke of a pen.
Congressional Republicans and the Trump administration wanted to partially fund their tax cuts by reducing the amount of federal expenditures that go towards Medicaid.
7.5 million people will lose their Medicaid coverage over the next decade.
Oh, that's probably me when I get older. That's probably me. Man, I am so incentivized to have kids, man. There's just nothing but W's to have kids. Meanwhile, I'm gonna go over here and listen to everyone that has like been like naively having kids. Like, oh, it's so magical. It's so beautiful. It's the most magical thing. Remember the intro to this video? It's the best thing. Your capacity for love is like it's raised so much and all this other bullshit. Meanwhile, you got every one person that has a kid, you got like 10 to 100 other people that just work a paycheck to paycheck, and having a kid isn't even in the rear view mirror.
And shrinking the Medicaid program will have devastating consequences for rural hospitals.
Medicaid is like one of the pots of money that get put in, and private insurance and private payers and federal reimbursements. So all those kind of get put in, and all that gets used to pay their bills. So when you lose Medicaid payments significantly, the hospital has to work off of this much money instead of this much money.
Yeah.
So even if you're not a Medicaid recipient or benefit from the Medicaid system, you really do. You just don't know it.
People who have lost Medicaid coverage will still go to hospitals for care. The difference is just that the hospital won't get paid for treating them.
For patients who are uninsured, when they show up to a hospital, particularly in an emergency situation, the hospital is obligated, both legally and ethically, to provide care to those patients.
And so if they come, we get no reimbursement, and there's no compensation for that. It hurts you to not have these patients who have some form of payment. It may not be the best, it may not be the highest, but at least it's something.
When hospitals are faced with shrinking budgets, labor and delivery is often the first unit to get cut.
Damn.
But it won't be the last.
Like if you're used to seeing your...
What's the pipeline of like stuff that gets cut in terms of like a hospital? And so it's one of the first, like someone that designs like hospital industries or hospital like webs across like a county or a city or whatever, like a state. How do you grow a hospital? And then what gets cut if a hospital doesn't succeed? Like, how does that look? Right? You gotta cut off the stuff that what is gonna come in the future to provide care for the people that are here now. I mean, it's a shitty thing to have to think about, but I mean, you have to think about it.
Neurologist at this hospital, the hospital might get rid of neurology.
So wait, does that mean having a kid is like a luxury? If that's the case, because I'm just trying to think of like the implications. Is having a kid a luxury? And no one wants to admit it?
Because they need to make cuts because they can't pay all the bills. And so services get cut. OB is one of those services, but there's many others as well.
There's little restricting hospitals from making decisions to close service lines that don't make them money. And as this crisis worsens, it will fundamentally reshape what life in rural America looks like.
And then in here will be the little girl's room. So this will be our nursery. Everything in me wants to stay here for the rest of my life and raise these kids because I had such a good experience here. And now, like this, watching this whole situation with our hospital unfold, where is the caring for people? Why is money more important than that?
I mean, I get it. It's affecting you directly. But, I mean, you can literally just ask the person that has to make these decisions. That's why the first thing to get cut is birthing and the what was it? The obstetrics or however you say it. The OB, the kids, the birthing section of a hospital is the first thing to go to get cut. Well, They do that in order to preserve the sections or departments that benefit the people that are like living right now.
It's astounding to me.
So Copley is like the canary in the coal mine, that what's happening in our community.
Ooh, that's a good analogy. The canary in the coal mine. Man, how did that say? Like, let me Google trend that. Like, canary in the coal mine saying. Let me see. Google Trends. When did that saying start popping off? I can't spell coal. Is it OA? Search doesn't have enough data. Oh, I'm retarded. Canary in the coal mine refers to any early warning signal of danger. It comes from a historical practice of miners bringing caged canaries underground to detect toxic gases. The birds would be affected by the gases long before the miners, giving them a chance to escape. So this is just an early warning sign. All these like childbirthing centers closing down. Early warning sign. Is the West doomed?
Is not isolated to us. It is going to happen in other communities.
It will.
Based on the healthcare.
And it's rural. It's rural. Not a lot of people are making money in the outskirts or wherever the fuck. I don't want it to be the case. It just is the case.
Decisions we're making today.
130 more rural OB units are at risk of closure, and that number will only get worse as Medicaid cuts go into it.
Medicaid cuts could endanger maternity services at more than 140. Why'd you say 130?
More rural OB units are at risk.
It is going to happen in other communities based on the healthcare decisions we're making today.
130 more.
Okay, whatever. It's just 10 difference.
Rural OB units are at risk of closure, and that number will only get worse as Medicaid cuts go into effect.
I'm having a girl. What about her? Is she gonna have access? I mean, those are real questions that all of a sudden I'm having to ask myself. And it shouldn't be a worry.
It shouldn't. I agree with her. It shouldn't be a worry, but it is. If you live in the rural outskirts of some city or county or wherever, neighborhood, you are extremely disincentivized and inconvenienced if you want to choose and make the choice to have a kid.
Should just be basic access to health care.
It should.
At the federal level, this is an eminently solvable problem. There are a number of things that federal policymakers could do. First and foremost, don't do what Republicans just did and cut Medicaid financing by $1 trillion and kick 16 million patients off of their insurance.
I beg our lawmakers to make it a priority, because when you lose it, it's going to be really hard to get it back.
Nah, that's not going to happen. They're okay with cutting it because they don't feel it. If you don't feel something, like it doesn't matter to you. It's so easy to make a decision that doesn't like directly affect you. All those lawmakers, they don't live in the rural outskirts of wherever the fuck. They live in some, they'll live in like some high paying like community or wherever. Maybe they have like a big ass like multi-acre like piece of property, and they'll have like multiple properties, right? Wherever they want to put their home as. They have like multiple properties. It's big, it's like kind of private, it's got a fence, all that shit. Probably multi-million-dollar home, right? It doesn't affect them. They don't live in the rural area. So it's easy for them to make that decision because they don't feel it.
If you ever do, and you probably won't.
We need to demand more of our legislators on the state and federal level to really reimburse healthcare for what it actually costs. They work for us. They need to listen to what we need from them.
Unless we change course, Republicans' Medicaid cuts will be the final blow for many rural hospitals. But the more fundamental issue is why America's hospitals...
Like, that looks cool. Like, this little scene actually looks pretty cool, right? I mean, I don't know what this is. This is a really cool drone shot, right? You got like the rolling hills going down into like this lake or river or whatever. You got like a little housing development here. That's pretty cool. You got some more houses back there. You got some stuff happening in the background, maybe like a building or like a big tall building there, Got some stuff over there. What is this, a farm right here? I mean, I don't know what this is. I don't know what that is. It's like some warehouses or some shit. I guess this is like the strip, right? Is this the road where it's like all a bunch of like McDonald's and like Applebee's and like Wendy's across the street from each other? Is this it? I mean, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Maybe I can't see on the other side, but whatever. I mean, it's a nice looking place. It's still rural though.
Hospitals. But the more fundamental issue is why America's hospitals are expected to run like businesses in the first place.
There are plenty of services that we consider to be human necessities that we provide throughout the country, even if it is quote unquote more expensive or less efficient. The post office is a good example. It's long been recognized that delivering a piece of mail in a rural area costs more, but we've made the determination that folks in these locations deserve to be able to receive their mail, just like we might decide that they should deserve to receive their health care.
What do you guys think is more important, mail or health care? It's kind of an easy decision to me.
I think I've probably shed a tear for every baby that I've been a part of delivering. To be able to do it here in the community where I grew up and with oftentimes patients that I know, it's just nothing short of magical. It's not just about numbers, it's about every single life that we're bringing in.
There should be some things in rural areas that just are important because they are.
And it's mail. It's mail. They made the decision. It's mail.
Because life hangs in the balance. And if we don't prioritize that, we're not prioritizing the life of our citizens.
Thanks for watching.
Dang.
If you have a story idea about healthcare or Medicaid cuts, send us a tip at stories@perfectunion.us. And don't forget to subscribe.
Well, it's nice to know that it's not just people choosing not to have kids anymore. It's also incentivized or disincentivized from the government to not have kids. At least if you live in a rural area, it's going to be really hard. It's still fine if you make money and have money and live in like a non-rural area to have kids. And by that, I mean like a city or a county or something highly populated, densely packed. Right? It's okay if you live there to have kids. And even then, the people are still choosing to not have kids, which is even funnier. Oh, man. Well, good stuff, guys. Great video. Didn't know this was happening, but now I do. But thank you. You guys are doing good stuff. Keep it up, man. Yeah, that's it for me. Take it easy, guys. Later.